Tonight, Congresswoman Marsh Blackburn, a Republican from Tennessee, and General Wesley Clark, former NATO Supreme Allied Commander. Great to have both of you with us, and great to have both of you here with me on set. Now, General Clark, when you hear this, I mean, he's trying to say, look, it's not my red line, but he has made a very clear and consistent point that it is his red line, that this is something he is passionate about, that he believes in. Why is he doing this now and saying it's not mine, it's everybody else's?
Because I think if the United States is going to lead, this is the time to lead. And what the president's doing is leading. Everyone signed this chemical warfare convention. It outlaws the use of chemical weapons. It's actually been in law since 1925. And this is a chance for the United States and the world community to show that we meant the piece of paper when we signed it. And that's what this is about, U.S. leadership. It's not about the strike. The strike is just the point at the end of the period. This is about bringing the United States and the world together to make a statement. This is not going to be permitted in the 21st century.
And Representative Blackburn, I mean, doesn't the general have a point? I mean, that yes, the president has said this is his red line, but, you know, Syria is one of just a few nations in the world that has not agreed to a treaty prohibiting the use of chemical weapons. This is something he's trying to remind the world that the world has said is an unacceptable violation of human rights. So isn't he right to say this is the world's red line?
This was a treaty, yes, it goes back decades, and there has been agreement on that, but I would disagree. I think that the president has shown a lack of leadership in this situation. It is one of those things where he's been inconsistent in his approach. And when I talk to the men and women in my district who are military retirees, who are active duty and are there at Fort Campbell, they, I think, are getting mixed messages. A president, a commander-in-chief, must be able to clearly assess a situation, define a mission, give that strategy, and say this is what the exit is going to be. And this president has not done that.
Well, General Clark, that is a fair point in the sense of,
I mean, think it's fair.
All right, so explain to me though, what is the exit? Because even yesterday, John Kerry said, well, there's no boots on the ground, and then he said, well, I'm not comfortable taking boots on the ground off the table.
You finish the strikes. It's 3, 4, 5 days. It's a package. We did this against Saddam Hussein in 1998 when he wouldn't allow the UN Special Commission inspectors in. This is nothing new. We've done this. The point is that when President Clinton did it then, he did it. There wasn't a big debate about it or anything, and it was over. Here, the point is not the strikes. We're not going to intervene in that civil war at this point. There's no political opposition to really reinforce. We're miles away from that.
So you think we can keep this put in a little box? This is what it's going to be.
I think there's two different issues.
And it's not going to leak?
Well, there's two different issues. I think that if we are, first of all, we have to draw a line against the use of chemical weapons. That may weaken the Assad regime. It may not. We're also providing some aid to the rebels, because if we're going to move toward a political resolution, there has to be enough balance between the two sides to encourage Assad to come to the table and negotiate. Right now, he doesn't have to. All he has to do is wait it out and wait for the opposition to fall apart.
No, but with the rebels, we know that they have been infiltrated by Al-Qaeda. We know that there are many that would say they're more...
Up to 15% of the rebels could be, quote-unquote, Al-Qaeda or others, said Secretary Kerry today.
So they're not all necessarily friendly to us. A lot of them could be termed almost as bandits, as someone referenced it to me. We also have a situation where this president, you hand him the ball on foreign policy and he seems to fumble it, whether it's the drawdown in Iraq or what happened in Afghanistan with the surge or Libya or Egypt. And people are saying, wait a minute. We seem to have a problem with understanding what is to be the goal and how we're to approach these. I think that the president didn't want the responsibility on his shoulders, so therefore, if what he decided to do...
Just to put it on Congress.
That's right.
Now, John McCain has said that a no vote from Congress would, even though the president might be able to go ahead with it anyway, would damage the office of the presidency, that it would be catastrophic. You know, you've got John Boehner saying vote yes. You've got Eric Cantor saying vote yes. You've been leaning no.
That's correct. I am a lean no.
You're a lean no. But do those arguments sway you? That this is about more than this president. This is about the office of presidency of the United States.
It is about the office of the presidency, and it's about our nation's response and how we go about through that decision-making process, how we approach this, what has happened. in Syria, whether it was Assad or the rebels, it is immoral. And yes, we all agree on that. But I tell you what else is immoral, is looking at the U.S. military and this administration requiring them to do more with less resources, whether it comes from the drawdown in Iraq or the surge in Afghanistan. They're cutting the money and the resources to the military and putting more on them, the pivot to Asia and what is taking place there.